What's going on, everybody? Welcome to NBA Grinders Live. I'm your host, Travis Mangone, back with one of my good buddies. That's Will. That's Chief Justice. How's it going over there, my man? Missed you this weekend.
Yeah, man, everything's going okay. I hate I couldn't make it, man. Listen, family first. We're kind of talking pre-show. Mangone doesn't have this type of commitment in his life yet, but I've got a wife and kids, and my 5-year-old caught the flu, and they kicked her out of school, of course. And 2 days later, she passed it to my 2-year-old, and then my wife got sick, and so it was just. Luckily, I didn't get sick, which was really a blessing. So, they're improving, but yeah, man, I had to end up missing it. And I was going to actually fly out Friday, and once my daughter got sick, I pushed it to Saturday, and then my other daughter got sick, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to go. So that's what happened, man. But at any rate, I see I got a chance to check out some very short clips of basketball footage, and congrats to Team JSU for pulling it out. I will be there next year, I hope. I'm sorry, Team DB, I let us down. I know if I was there, we would have brought this championship home.
Yeah, man.
Guaranteed.
Team JSU won. It was a fun day. Some people are sore afterwards, and I don't think anyone got sick so far. Soccer Dave, he pulled the Jordan flu game, was sick, and then came out, walked in, straight face, ready to rock. Was shooting like a champ. So yeah, it was overall an awesome, fun day, and I'm sure there'll be some highlight videos coming out. So stay tuned for that, guys. I do want to go over a couple things before we get started. Listen, Grinders Live over here, we have 25 likes on this video, guys. If you like what we got going on over here on RotoGrinders, please hit that like and subscribe. And if you do hit that like button, we get 250 likes on this. You know what we get, Will? We get Crunch Time today for free. That's with Andy Means. That's with Kevin Roth. That's with JSU, the Triple Threat booth. Tell the people, Will, why should they want to watch Crunch Time?
Well, I think the main thing is, man, I have a ton of respect for Andy and what he's been able to accomplish in terms of core plays and cash games. I mean, I just feel like on most days, if you just kind of follow his blueprint in terms of, 3 to 4 guys, 2 to 3 guys, he's really going to help you be set up for success. And then my man JSU, in terms of tournament takes, he's always going to have one that'll make you think that maybe you weren't thinking about it. And usually that player is a guy that can kind of pull you to the top of the tourney. In fact, I did not realize JSU had 2 seats to the FanDuel Fantasy Basketball Championship. I am so hurt. I'm going to have to get my Mamba mentality going. It is now my goal to meet JSU at this championship. I didn't know if I was going to chase it this year. I was kind of like, will I chase it? Will I not? But now that my man JSU is there, I got to get my seat there. So I'm going to be chasing that one here in the next couple of weeks. See if I can meet him out there in LA.
Yeah, man, definitely try and take that thing down and get there and represent RotoGrinders, right? Who knows? Maybe I'll give it a shot. I'm more of a cash guy, but you never know. Some of those higher stake ones sometimes can be good for the cash game players.
Oh, man, they're the best ones.
Yeah, I do think those are the ones I could have a pretty good shot on there. Let's go to the next thing. We got to talk about the SharpSide Streak Contest, Will. We won't go over our bets. We got lock bets that we're going to give you throughout the show, but I want to tell you guys a little bit about it because it's an awesome, awesome promotion that we have going on over here, guys. If you are on the SharpSide app, all you got to do, you got to swipe right, swipe left on a bet, anything that's a minus 140 or below. All you got to do is hit the lock button on that bet, and if you get a streak of 5, your next bet that you hit, you get a $10 in FanDuel credit. And then the next one, you get another $10 in FanDuel credit. Once you hit a streak of 10, then it turns into $20 in FanDuel credit. And it keeps going up, all the way to about 30 lock bets in a row. It's an awesome, awesome promotion we have going on over here. So, guys, go on over, download the SharpSide app, and start swiping right and left and join in the fun. Then we also got to talk about the FanDuel single entry series, Will. We were talking pre-show about it a little bit. Devin's probably going to drop the link in the chat. There's a nice $3 contest going on over there. Will, can you tell the people a little bit about the FanDuel single entry series contest?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's the $3 today. Listen, if you want to get yourself a seat to a live final, are they doing it live this year? I didn't check that. So if they're not doing it at the live final, I'm really sorry. But usually I think in the past they brought the single entry series to the live final. Always a good time. Listen, if you're really good at cranking out single entry stuff, man, you definitely want to get in this. even if not for the glory of being the single entry champion, the payouts are just so much bigger during this time. So I definitely encourage everyone to get in. It's $3 this week. Anybody can get in this one across the board. They'll have some different price points, probably 3, 5, 25, 50, 100, or 25, 10. Can't remember which ones, but I know they'll usually do a $100. And I know that's not for everybody, but the $3, every single DFS player can get in this one. So I'm super excited about it. And let's see if we can get a few RG members to the top and meet you out there in LA if it's going to be live this year.
Yeah, the good news, Will, is you don't always have to play the $100, right? Like you can drop a score, right? Like, well, let's say, like the wife and kids, they get sick one day and you have to take care of them. You don't have to play it every single day. It drops some scores. There's a whole standings. It's somewhere on RotoGrinders. If you can't access it, someone can help you out. Ask in the Discord chat that we have going on over here. People will help you find the way to, tackle that contest. And again, I love single entry, 3 entry max. Those are my favorite kind of contests. So you'll be seeing me in these and trying to take down whatever free money is added in there. If it's live final stuff, who knows? I'll be jumping in on that. Also, I wanted to mention the RG badge promo. Guys, if you're rocking the RG badge and you end up winning a tournament, or I think it's like top 5, you end up getting a free RotoGrinders subscription for a month. That's something awesome that, you got to try, right? It's free, Will. So just put the badge on, jump on in, and kind of, try and win a free membership, right? That could turn into maybe winning some more money. Then you become a full-time subscriber, and then maybe you win the million one day. You never know how it can steamroll. But I want to shout out some guys who are rocking the RG badge. I got J.A. Hust 11, Jake Phillips, Yo Teach, I'm here to win, DFS Cheese. I don't know if that's Cheese's Goods burner account. And we got Jersey Guy 25. I know I'm from Jersey, but that is not my burner. But hey, guys, welcome to the family. Welcome. And, thanks a lot for joining and rocking the RG badge. Will, we got to dive right into this slate. Before we kind of dive in, give me a quick overview. Like, what do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you love it? What's your kind of breakdown on it?
Yeah, man, I like this slate a lot. I think there are some good pivots. I think there are some guys that you may want to consider not pivoting off of. For a 10-game slate, I've been kind of following ownership projections all day. It's pretty concentrated in terms of, who everybody's going to be looking to play. Especially on FanDuel, with a little different build, but for good reason. I think some of the chalky plays, I don't think you have to get away from them. I'm usually more in the camp of if a chalky play is really good, I'm hitting the lock button. If a chalky play is, I think, kind of on the fence, then, typically I'll go with the full fade. But in terms of the chalk today, I'm not saying it's can't miss because that's not true. But I definitely think these guys should be able to get you where you need to be. And, you get 1 or 2 guys to differentiate your lineup. And voila, you could be at the top of a tournament real quick.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Real quick, K-Max saying, sounds like I lost my voice a little bit, and I did. And that's one of the reasons I'm here, because Dean lost his voice, and then Crane is filling in for Dean. And, I'm the idiot who took a 7 a.m. flight home, and a bunch of other people are traveling. But I'm here. I'm ready to rock, and I'm excited. And we just got some breaking news, and we'll break it now. This is actually massive news that's going to change the entire slate, Will. It's D'Angelo Russell. He is ruled out. So let's kick it off with that. What are you going to do now here? Because this is massive news, right? Absolutely changes everything. How do you want to approach this? Because I think this is big.
Yeah, man. So listen, I've got my blue notebook. If anybody's listened to the morning grind, I've got this blue notebook that I kind of take notes in every morning. Notes, I've got like season notes, things that I've noticed, trends, stuff like that. Look, man, you've got Alec Burks available now. One of my favorite plays on the slate is now going to be Damian Lee. I just think these are going to be some guys that are going to creep into lineups. And maybe their ownership will start pushing a little bit, and that might get some people off of the Boston guys. But Damian Lee, Alec Burks, I don't think it's any secret there. I think everybody's going to be looking. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and grab my notebook because I want to make sure I don't miss anything on that. And then Glenn Robinson III is another guy I looked at. And then Draymond as well. That's kind of the group. Those were the 5 guys I kind of wrote down. I didn't necessarily write down their fantasy points per minute today. I did write that for the Dallas guys. But, Lee and Burks are pretty much going to be 2 favorites of mine. And then I think you can sneak Draymond. And I think Draymond's a crazy good tournament play today. He's one of those guys you can play that could be one of those differentiators that no one considers, massively on this slate. If he could get in that 40 to 50 range, you could really be set up for success.
Yeah, we just got the Wizards lineup, by the way. And again, the one reason we want to play the Warriors because they're playing against the Wizards, right? This is a massive total. We got Thomas Bryant. He's going to remain on that minutes limit. And Hachimura, he is in there. I don't know if he played on the weekend. Again, I was a little busy. Couldn't play a ton of NBA. But the starting lineup is Thomas, Payton, Beal, Hachimura, and we got Mahimi starting. So that is the full lineup there. And Evan Fournier news just came out. He is starting too. Marcus Morris expected to play tonight too after all. So tons of news flowing in. But I'm with you, Will. And I wanted to show the people on the lineup HQ, right? If you don't want to play a guy, let's say D'Angelo Russell, he's out now, right? So we're going to click the X button on D'Angelo Russell, put him in there. And if you want to adjust for the news, like say this news came at 6:55, and you want to just do the stuff on the fly, just you jump on in here and you just change the minutes. Like Alec Burks, he's not playing 26 minutes now. What would you put him for? Maybe like 30?
I'd probably have him at 30 as a floor. I'd say 32, 34 as a ceiling, depending on how this game shakes out.
Yeah. Now, obviously, fantasy point per minute is right here, and that can change, right? That's obviously it's a different scenario, and in the back end, I'm sure they might move that around a bit. So, Alec Burks. So this is a way to manually adjust some things, right? And you can just jump.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, you can jump in like I did. I X'd out D'Angelo Russell. That way I don't get him in any of my lineups because you don't want him now, right? You don't want him creeping in by accident as like a 1 or 2% guy as you upload your script by accident. So make sure to X him out, and then you can adjust all the minutes that you want. I'm with you. I'm kind of thinking Alec Burks is my favorite guy, followed by Lee. Even Glenn Robinson's going to enter the picture as an interesting guy. I don't know. What do you think about the forwards? I think my one problem with Draymond Green is this spot's amazing, right? 6.5K is pricier than he's been this year, though, right? I bought him more at 5.9 and 5.5, and I like him more when D'Angelo Russell plays, and I think the reason I've liked him more, and maybe I'm wrong on this, it just feels like throughout the season, he's really only played like a lot of minutes when it's a close game and D'Angelo Russell's been in there. The one thing I will say is it's against the Wizards. I do expect a close game. The Wizards are not that good, but are you comfortable with Draymond Green? Because if you tell me Draymond Green plays 35 minutes, I'm all in on Draymond Green, but I don't know if he's going to play that many.
Yeah, listen, Draymond's only tournament for me today, and of course this is a tournament show, but I say you give Draymond 32 minutes and you let it fly. If he's able to, get 32, 35 minutes, I think he's good. Damian Lee, the same thing for me. I'm always manually either adjusting minutes or fantasy points. Just because, of how I think that the game will shake out. And I mean, we've done a tremendous job. I'm only adjusting when I feel like a guy's in a fantastic situation. I think this definitely fits that bill. So Draymond, Burks, Lee, those are guys I'm high on. I think Lee, Burks, Draymond could all play 32 to 35 minutes today. With Russell being out. If it's close, I think they'll all get to 35 or pretty close to it. And so that's got me kind of excited. I will say I like him more on FanDuel. Burks is, around 5,300. Damian Lee's 4,500. Draymond 6,200. I still love him on DK as well. I don't think they'll have as much ownership. But on FanDuel, man, those guys are phenomenal plays. And I think a guy like Damian Lee is great leverage on a guy like Bruce Brown that's going to be incredibly chalky today. They could really end up in the same range of outcomes.
Yeah, we can move on to that in a second. I actually do want to touch on that. That was going to be one of the first things I talked about when we started the show. But I want to show people, right? I just did the Burks updates. And let's say you don't like an update and your whole script's a mess, right? Just hit build rules. And all you got to do is hit reset NBA settings and it resets everything back to normal. So if you ever have some kind of issue, that's one way to do that. If you guys don't know how to use the lineup builder, figure I'd give you a peek on that. And if you look up here, it says the projections were updated at 534. The ownership was projected at 534 as well. So let's see what we got for Burks here. Burks is an update. I saw Lee got an update, so it's probably not all the way done. But we can circle back maybe towards the end and look at those guys again. But let's talk about Brown and Reggie Jackson, right? We got Reggie Jackson questionable. There's a lot of Pistons that are in play today. We got for 3K, I can't say his name. Is it Siku Dumba? I don't know how to say his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
I think it's Dumboya, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's 3K. We got Drummond is always in play with the ceiling he can have. His price has gotten a little bit cheaper. Reggie Jackson and Bruce Brown, though, they're the chalk of the day at this point, especially if Reggie plays. How are you kind of approaching those guys now with the Warriors situation?
Yeah, I think in tournaments, even in single entry, I think it's all leverage at this point because if you're looking at ownership projections, you're going to notice real fast that Reggie Jackson and Bruce Brown have a tremendous chunk of ownership today. And that's why I'm so excited about a guy like Damian Lee. at shooting guard. It gives me a chance to be slightly different and not have to give up all the other good plays that I love that we'll talk about from Boston. But, that would be my approach today. A guy like Bruce Brown, look, it's a fantastic spot. They're playing, the Memphis Grizzlies. But Bruce Brown's projected at 28% right now. We've got Damian Lee projected at 7%. I'd side with Damian Lee in terms of ownership leverage all day long. Love Bruce Brown. I'm not saying I won't have him. It just depends on, kind of how my lineup shakes out. But at the moment, I really think Damian Lee is who I'm going to leverage with. But Bruce Brown, fantastic play, 4K. Reggie Jackson, I think he's good chalk if he plays. We've got him projected at 50% on FanDuel right now. I'm focusing more on FanDuel because we're kind of talking about our single entry series. Reggie Jackson at 50%, I just think he's just a lot button. 4,500, should see 30 minutes in this spot as long as he plays. I just think this is a fantastic option on this slate, where we can really get a balanced build and kind of flow through and really just get such a high floor for tournaments tonight. So, Reggie Jackson, obvious play of the day if he plays, but I think he's good chalk. I think you definitely side with Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, I think Reggie and Brown, both really good chalk options and guys that I'm going to be considering, and those Warriors guys too. If you look too on the builder here, we got a 43% smash percentage here for Bruce Brown, which is pretty high. That's a good rating if you've been tracking it over the last couple of weeks since we've had it. You got Reggie Jackson at 6.5. Kareem French is bringing up something interesting, right? He's talking about Trey or Bradley Beal. Like all these cheap guards right now, these Warriors cheap guards are in play. We got these Pistons cheap guards. There's a lot of leverage opportunity with paying up for some point guards, Will. So what do you think about that as a tournament strategy? Who would maybe be your best spend up guy? Because I think Trae Young might be the guy that I would maybe want to spend up. Even Bradley Beal, both those guys are two amazing guys that I'd probably have on my screen.
Yeah, man. I mean, right now, like I said, I don't leverage ownership as much every day, but today is definitely going to be that day. In terms of ownership, we've got Bradley Beal right now. I think he's around, we've got him projected at 14%. I think that's incredible. That's incredible leverage on the field where everybody's going to be playing Spencer Dinwiddie for good reason. That's another guy we're going to have to talk about as it comes about. But Bradley Beal at 14%, I think is incredible leverage. It'll give you some slightly different lineup construction. And the same thing for Trey. Now, Trey's ownership is starting to creep up. He's at about 24% right now. Earlier in the day, I think Trey was around 13, 14%. So, I think more people are going to side with him now that he's going to play at home in a great spot against Boston with limited bodies, no Kemba, no Marcus Smart. Should keep the game a little bit closer, we hope. And Trey coming off that injury, maybe that'll keep his ownership down just a touch. So I think in terms of tournaments on FanDuel specifically, if you're going to play the three Boston guys, I know we're going to get there, but I have to bring it up in this scenario. I just don't see how you don't play Trae Young on the other side. The offense is flowing through him. You got to think that in terms of the Boston point projections, in terms of real points, you got to think those three guys, Hayward, Brown, Tatum, are going to count for, I would say, 75 to 80% of their real points. And Trey's probably going to count for 30% of his team's real points if he plays and has upside game. I think on FanDuel, Trae Young and the three Boston guys for tournaments is just incredibly juicy.
Yeah, we'll dive into that. I just want to mention real quick, talk about Trey and Beal. Like, look at their usages, right? 29% usage, 45, 39, 41, 37, 42. I mean, Trey sees massive usage. Look at Bradley Beal, too. I don't know if you've been tracking what he's been doing. He's been amazing, Will, but, the usage has been up. And that's one reason I dove right back into him at the cheap price because I noticed the usage was back where it used to be 35%, 32, 46, 36, 38. It's just so high. So here's some high usage guys that can have a really nice ceiling game. So run back that Warriors value. Make sure if you're in the lineup builder right here, it's very easy. All you gotta do is go to build rules, go to player groups, and you make the group, Will, and you type in all the Warriors guys. You type in Burks. You type in, let's see who else. Let's put Pascal in there. Let's put Lee, who you talked about. And then you make sure to run it back with Bradley Beal, right? You make sure they're in those groups. You can limit it to 2 to 3 guys or only one of them. There's a lot of different things you can do. And same with Trae Young and the Boston guys. I want to go and talk about that. And we'll switch over to the FanDuel because I think talking about the Boston guys is important. But guys, before we do that, we got 95 likes here, and we need to get you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. And the reason why we need you to hit that like button especially is because if we get 250 likes on this show, you get crunch time right after, at 6:30. You get to watch Kevin Roth, Andy Means, and JSU talking on Crunch Time, guys. So please hit that like button. We'll appreciate it. We need 250. We're at 95 right now. I know you guys can get us there. So start hitting that button for us. But now, Will, let's go over to FanDuel. I just opened up a different tab for the FanDuel stuff, and let's look at the Boston guys. Again, I think when you play Boston guys, when you play Boston guys, when you play Trae Young, you have to run it back with Boston guys, right? I think no matter what, that would be an approach that I would be doing in tournaments. I don't know about you, but what Boston guys, especially on FanDuel, on DraftKings, it's a little bit different, right? Tatum, I think he's the best of the Boston guys at 7,500. Hayward's a little priced up at 7,900. Jaylen Brown, he's still a good price at 7,600, but Tatum is the better guy. And then on FanDuel, it's the complete opposite. Hayward, he's too cheap at 6.5K. Jaylen Brown at 6.8 is cheap. Jason Tatum, he's a little more priced up at 7.9, but he's still in play. Rank those guys for me because those are three that I'm really keying in on.
They're all three are equal in my book. I'm not going heavy multi-entry today. I'm not going to have more than 10 lineups because I've got a basketball game later. My girls are playing, so my high school team, not my daughters, my high school team. But listen, man. I talk about this all the time. I get really aggressive in my tournament play, so I'm not trying to make anyone do exactly what I'm going to do. But on FanDuel, I'd probably lock in about 4 or 5 guys today and I just take it how it comes. So Brown, Hayward, Tatum, lock buttons, 100%. If I was running 100, I'd have them in all 100, and I'd let the chips fall where they may. I wouldn't have Trae at 100%, obviously, but those 3 guys on FanDuel, and I made some manual, adjustments to the projections myself today just to kind of get an idea of, what it would look like when I kind of ran through some scenarios. But Hayward, Brown, Tatum, I'm expecting them to account for 75 to 80% of all the offensive production. There's no way I don't lock those guys in. I think Brad Wanamaker is just kind of a splash play for me. He's one of those guys. We don't have him projected at high ownership anyway. But those 3 guys, I will say it again, if I was multi-entering on FanDuel, not as much on DK, on FanDuel, it would be lock button city on all 3. And I don't care about Oubre. I don't care about Paul George. I don't care about any other small forwards. Hayward and Brown, 100% no matter what.
Well, here's my one question, Will. I just ran the RG builder, the optimal, the projection, just to see what it's spitting out. Listen, they got Alec Burks in there.
I know.
He's a small forward.
I know.
You're telling me Hayward and Brown over and no Alec Burks, basically, you're saying, if you're talking about that?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If I was multi-entering, I would fade Burks today. I'd take Hayward and Brown 100%, and I get my exposure through Lee. I get my exposure through Draymond. And look, I love Alec Burks. I think he's great. If this was DK, totally different conversation for me. If it's DK, totally different. On FanDuel, I'm 100% across the board with these 3 Boston guys.
Like I said, I'm kind of with you, but I think Burks is more in the common. That's something I'm going to look at.
I got you.
I can't say it with as much conviction as you are, but you're on it, and I love the Boston guys, so I agree. You said Wanamaker could be a splash play. Wanamaker hasn't made a splash ever, so I can't do it. Ian Thomas, too. My man, he's like he has 20-point upside max. I cannot touch Wanamaker, especially on this slate. This is an awesome one. We got Matt Runyon. He's asking, what about Cantor, and Theis? Like, what's going on with that situation? Any interest in those big men?
Yeah, I mean, look, Cantor, I like Cantor here, and I don't think Cantor's going to get a whole lot of ownership, which I'm trying to check that right this minute because I knew that was coming. So I'm sorry, guys. I am checking that as we speak. Yeah, I mean, we've got Cantor at bottom feeder ownership, so I think we just basically he's another sprinkle. You see, so when I say sprinkle, I'm saying Wanamaker. If I was playing him today, I would probably be with the field, 5 to 10%. Cantor, I may go 10 to 15% on him today in hopes that he comes in and just has one of those crazy 35-point games in 20 minutes. Because I don't think he's going to play more than 20 minutes. I just don't think that. But in this spot, I think it's plausible or possible that he could get to 30 fantasy points in limited time. You just have to have hope for really high upside. And so that's where I am with Cantor. I like him, don't love him. He's not necessary. The top 5 centers on FanDuel today are all within, 5 to 6 points of each other at max. So I don't think you have to get away from any of those guys, but Cantor is definitely just another sprinkle play.
Yep, I am with you on that. Let's find another situation to talk about. And while we do that, let's go to the situation room, right? I don't know if you checked that out. It's the injury report we have, Will. There's tons of different stuff to cover here and tons of different things to look at. We have Kyrie Irving. He's ruled as out. Luka out. We know that. Derrick Rose. That's why we're talking about this stuff. These are all the big impact ratings, right? The 10. If you see a 10, that means it's a situation that you definitely have to look at a ton and kind of get exposure to those guys, right? We got Kemba. He's out. We talked about that. Trae Young, he's now in, probable. D-Russ, he was questionable at the time. I can hit refresh and it will move on. Check out the situation room. There's a lot going on here, but one of the situations is Kyrie Irving. He's ruled out, and we can kind of dive into that game because that's a really important game in my opinion. I think there's a lot of upside in this spot in that Phoenix-Brooklyn game. We got guys like DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, who I think are really strong candidates to have a huge ceiling game. And on the other side, we can run it back with some Spencer Dinwiddie, who happens to be one of Meansy's core plays here. So, I love Dinwiddie. That's on FanDuel specifically at 7.1K. DK at 8K, he's a little pricey for my liking, but I still think he's a good tournament play. Will, talk to me about this game in general, because those are my 3 favorite plays, and I'm sure you got some other good ones.
Yeah, man, I like Spencer Dinwiddie today. No secret there. He's going to be high on. I know we'll be lurking in some of the single entry play. We've got him projected at 46%. I can almost assure you Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be pushing about 60%. At the higher up we go up the food chain in terms of the single entry play, $100, $222, probably in the monster. And for good reason. I mean, not only is he pretty affordable here on FanDuel, he gets a matchup with the Phoenix Suns, who overall, if you look at the DVP stuff, they're actually overall they haven't been bad. I think they're around 15th or 16th in the league. But we just know that in real life, the Phoenix Suns is going to be a pretty fast-paced game. Should get a few extra possessions, which will definitely lean in Spencer Dinwiddie's favor. And so Dinwiddie is almost another lock bet for me. In terms of my builds right now, I think he'll probably be in all 10 of my lineups just because, I think you're really – a guy like Dinwiddie could get 50 tonight with ease, in my opinion. And so, that's why I'm so on the Boston guys. I'm so heavy on guys like Dinwiddie, guys in that 6, 7, 8K range that can all get 50. That's just going to carry you to the promised land. I'm with you on DK at 8K. I don't think he's necessary. Obviously, I play a Burks. I play a Damian Lee, I think. Instead, but on FanDuel, Spencer Dinwiddie's my guy. I love him a lot, and I think it's no secret everybody's going to be playing, or most people will be playing Dinwiddie. Another guy that I think is plausible if you want to get away from like a Bruce Brown, if you want to get away from a Damian Lee. This is going to be controversial. He doesn't have crazy high upside on most days, but Garrett Temple is a guy. If he's going to play 35 minutes. I'd be willing to get a sprinkle of him in tournaments. If I'm playing 10 lineups, maybe I'll run him in 1 or 2. We've seen him get 30 to 40 before. Look, it's not going to happen every day. But Garrett Temple, very affordable on FanDuel, can get you off of the Bruce Brown chalk. And so I just think he's a guy I'm just going to look at. His range of outcomes, I think he has a lower floor. But I think in terms of ceiling on most days, they're pretty comparable. He's a guy I would use to leverage Bruce Brown as well, leverage a little bit of Damian Lee. I like Damian Lee more than Temple, but Temple is still a good leverage play for a guy like Bruce Brown, who's going to be pushing 30, 40% tonight.
Yeah, sorry, I had myself muted there for a second. Will, I did want to ask you a question because this popped up and I was starting to really grind through it and look. Do you know much about like what you want to do with Jacob Evans? I mean, he's the starter for D'Angelo Russell here. And I don't think that was exactly expected. Do you have any interest in him? I mean, he's the min and he's starting. Is he a guy you're going to look at here on the Warriors?
No, I will not have any Jacob Evans. If a guy like Jacob Evans burns me, he's just going to burn me. And so, that's why I talk about when I say good chalk, really good chalk, okay chalk, bad chalk. I don't think Evans is bad, but I don't think he's great. And so I don't need to side with a guy like Evans when I have so many other guys that I just feel extremely more comfortable with. So I don't dislike Evans by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not going to. I wouldn't play him over Bruce Brown today. I just don't think that would fit the bill for me. Even in tournaments, I think in tournaments he's more of a sprinkle. But I would side with Damian Lee over him. I'd side with Bruce Brown over him. I think I'd still side with Garrett Temple over Jacob Evans, and that's saying a lot for a matchup with Washington. he's a guy I could see playing 15 minutes tonight, and then all of a sudden you're frustrated because you played Jacob Evans when you could have just played Bruce Brown. You could have played Damian Lee, guys that you know are going to play 30-plus minutes.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, you know, when that news pops up, people are going to be interested in it. And this is why I think the real story of this slate in tournaments, for me, really thinking about it, there's good value guards. There's good ones. And I think mixing in those are right, but maybe you don't mix all of them in, right? Maybe you play a couple and then you put like, you know, you play like the Trae Youngs of the world, right? You play all these higher guards. Like one guy we didn't talk enough about that last game was Devin Booker. I mean, Devin Booker against the Nets, I mean, he could go absolutely nuts. This is such a perfect spot for him. He's taking on the point guard duties more. And look, his usage is in the higher 30s, or mid 30s. He's been really good overall. So Booker's a guy I like in this spot. And another guy that I think you mentioned was Karis LeVert, and the chat's talking up Karis LeVert a ton. He's a great pivot off of Dinwiddie if you want to take a shot on that. You could obviously play both of them two together. I don't think that's a terrible route to go too, because there's still a lot of value there with Kyrie being out. So yeah, I think LeVert is a really good play that the chat is talking about as well. Will, I did want to get to another play, and we haven't really talked about him because the slate is so massive and so big, and it's your SharpSide lock of the night for the bet. So tell the people about Kristaps Porzingis and why he's your SharpSide bet of the night and what side you're on.
Yeah, man, Kristaps Porzingis, another favorite play of mine tonight. No secret. Ironically, I'm actually really shocked at the Porzingis ownership here, and I think a lot of it has to do with everyone's going to be playing Jason Tatum. We've only got Porzingis projected about 14% tonight on FanDuel. Going against Indiana, I've just seen enough Porzingis without Luka. If you look at the usage, you know, you look at the fantasy points per minute, he's at 1.3 and some change in terms of fantasy points per minute, pretty much right on par with Domantas Sabonis, but Sabonis still has 10% more ownership tonight. And look, maybe that's a mistake, maybe it's not, but Porzingis, I just think he's a fantastic play. And then, you know, we're going to talk about the sharp side. He's my lock of the night. We've got him at an over-under of 21.5 points. Definitely took the over. I don't think Porzingis scores less than 25 real points tonight. You know, the offense is, you know, predominantly going to flow through him, in my opinion. And a guy that's, you know, going to get up more shots, going to get more touches, going to get more rebounds. Everything's up when Luka's out off the floor for him. And I just think 14% is too low. So Porzingis, he's another guy that I'm incredibly high on tonight. I think when I was kind of looking at some multi-entry stuff and trying to decide what I was going to do, I had him roughly at about 40% today when I was looking at, you know, more of a 100 lineup build. I'm only playing 10, but out of those 10 lineups, I'm still probably going to have him in about 50%, which would be 5 lineups or more. So Porzingis, man, I just think he's another smash play today that's getting incredibly low ownership, and I really didn't expect that.
Sorry, I was muted again. Bad, but I looked at the Porzingis usage numbers here, Will. And the thing you gotta love it with Porzingis in this spot. I looked at his usage throughout the entire season, and I'm scrolling here. This last game was the highest usage he saw all year, besides the Pelicans game at 34. You know, he is going to get massive amount of usage with Luka out, Will. Love the call on Porzingis. I'll give the people my sharp side call. I was digging through and looking at some of the numbers, and Will, I don't know if you look at the defensive versus archetype tool. I look at that a bunch. I think it's an awesome tool we have over here at RotoGrinders. And I sorted by assists, and I was looking at different ones I thought that popped out well, and seeing how guys are playing recently. And Alfred Payton, he's a guy that's been playing really, really well recently. I know he got suspended, but I like the number on his assists. It's at 7.5. I took the over. Like 5 games, he's hit 8 or more assists. So he's crushed that in the last 5 games. And if you look, this is a good matchup for assists, right? It's a boost in 28.95% versus the average matchup that Alfred Payton goes up against. So this is a good spot for Alfred Payton, Will. What do you think of that call? And what do you think about it as a GPP tournament play?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I mean, I don't think he's going to get nearly the ownership he probably should on FanDuel. So, I mean, I like it a lot. I think it's a great play. He's a guy I've got sprinkled in a couple of my 10 lineups as well. I think I got him in 1 or 2. Just a guy that he's another guy that's got 40-point upside in a spot like this. I just think it could pay off tremendous dividends.
Yep, I'm with you. Guys, real quick, we got about 25 minutes left in the show. We're going to build a lineup together, me and Will, on FanDuel. We'll do that, and then we'll do some questions, but we'll keep diving into stuff before we do that. But I want to say, hit the like button. Please, guys, we're at 157 likes. That's not enough. Why do they got to get 250 likes, Will? Can you tell the people why they got to do that?
Listen, man, get this 250 likes. so you can go hang out with Meansy, so you can go hang out with JSU, and possibly hang out with Kevin Roth if you made it back in time and isn't too hurt with that lower back and upper back. Looks like he had a tremendous back injury before he got to the RG party. So yeah, please hit the button, get the free crunch time. It's awesome. Look, I'm not just saying this because I work here. I watch Crunch Time just like everybody else. If for nothing else, you're going to get late breaking news updates the whole way through. So make sure to hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's see if we can get this thing for free for the people.
Yeah, man, let's do it. I'm seeing we're already at 187. Keep it coming, guys. Ian Thomas, my man in chat, he's saying, please hit it, man. He's being nice. So, guys, get us to that 250 likes, please.
Man, Vince, yes, this is great. If we get 250 likes, Mangone will mute himself again. Yes, let's get 250.
Yeah, there's a chance I will, man. But let's get moving on, guys. Let's talk about the slate and some other guys. I saw people were talking about maybe paying up for Towns as an option. Who are some GBP takes you have? Like, let's look at some lower-owned guys. Obviously, we can sort by ownership percentage. And you see guys like Alec Burks, all the chalk we talked about, right? They're all good plays. Drummond, we've mentioned so many guys. Fox is another guy we haven't touched on a ton who I think is in a really good spot that could be a little bit chalkier. But who are some of the lower-owned guys maybe we can discuss? I see John Collins at 14%, could be a pivot off of a Trae Young. Who are you looking at, Will?
Yeah, so this is kind of going to be my low-owned play of the night. One of my favorite plays on this slate is Joel Embiid on both sides. 8,800 on FanDuel. I think he's around 9,200 on DK. I really like Embiid tonight, a guy that in terms of recent performance hasn't really gotten there for us. But Mangone, I know projections are kind of baked into a lot of these things. But, you know, the NBA First Look is something that's free for everybody as long as you're a member. Listen, you know, I go through that chart and I just kind of look every day and just try to see, hey, you know, who's popping in the blue category, who's popping green, blue. It's a simple way to just kind of get a good idea. And look, man, if you look at this chart, you see that Joel Embiid, in terms of DVA and defensive efficiency, has an incredible matchup tonight against Bam Adebayo. And so I really like this spot. I think it's tremendous leverage on maybe a little bit of Drummond. Like I said, a lot of the guys are within a few fantasy points of each other. And due to Joel's recent performance, I just don't think he's going to get a lot of ownership. I am extremely interested in Joel Embiid tonight, man. I think this could be a 60-point fantasy performance in the making.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good call. And listen, we got the 250, Will, so I got him. Like the people wanted, I had to hit myself real quick. Thank you guys for hitting that 250. You'll be getting Crunch Time with Kevin Roth, Meansy, and JSU. So please stick around for that, guys. It's awesome. And I'm going to say Devin Booker again, right? That's my low-owned guy. I really like it, 6%. I really think paying up for guards. Again, I'm not saying you pay for 3 guards. I'm not saying jam in all those guards. But I think maybe getting some of the value guards and then maybe mixing in 1 or 2 of these higher-end guys is a really good call on this slate. That's something I like. Another guy, and we have him like lowish now, and I don't know where his ownership's going to go, but I think it's Draymond Green. I just love taking a shot, right? When you build these lineups, right, when you're building for tournaments, Will, you shouldn't be building on medium projections, right? You should be building on ceiling projections. And if you look at Draymond Green, I mean, he has a massive, massive ceiling. I mean, he's a guy that can go absolutely crazy. If you look here, we got the ceiling for him today. We have him for 46.91. And if you look at guys in like the same range as him, like he's just got a higher ceiling than people in that range. So, I mean, I love him in this spot. He's someone I would definitely be looking at. Let's discuss De'Aaron Fox, another spend-up guard that I mentioned in passing. He's going to be playing against Minnesota. He had a great game last time against Minnesota. It was so weird. He was doing awful in the first half, and then he led that comeback to come back from behind and beat the Timberwolves. It was an awesome, awesome game. But what do you think of Fox? Because he's been really having a little bit of a higher usage. If you see the last 2 games, 38 usage, 36.18. If he's giving me that type of usage at that price, he should be like a 9.2K, 9.5K type of guard.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And the other thing, too, I mean, we've got him projected at pretty high ownership today. We've got him projected at 37% on FanDuel. On DK, looks like we've got him projected at 18%, which is a lot lower. So I think I'd be more willing to play him on DK for sure. He's not at the top of my list today. I've got a collection of guys like Trae Young, who I'm going to side with more. But I still think he's a fantastic play, man, against Minnesota. another pace-up spot here. In the same game as well, I actually like a little bit of Nemanja Bjelica, especially on FanDuel at 5,600. I think he's another really good play there. Not as much on DK, but on FanDuel, I like him a lot. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Fox, a guy that I think could really have a good game. I'm not as high on Fox as you are. I may have Fox in 1 to 2 of my 10 lineups, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, and we got one guy in the chat. He's asking if we can talk a little Yahoo. So we could sprinkle in some Yahoo stuff. I kind of pulled it up now, and it looks like, I just ran some of the RG builds to see, and I'll be playing on Yahoo a little bit. And I was thinking of obviously playing a lot of those guards. And like Alec Burks, that's what I was really looking at. Now he's $19 over there, and he can slide into the guard spot. And you talked about liking those forwards, right? You talked about liking the Jaylen Browns. How do you think putting Alec Burks at $19 on Yahoo in the guard spot looks?
Yeah, man. I mean, that looks phenomenal. Then I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't have Yahoo pulled up right this minute. I would have to literally pull it up. But I mean, at $19, I mean, I think that's affordable, incredibly affordable for a guy that will probably end up in the 30s tonight, I would assume, as long as everything breaks his way, no foul trouble, stuff like that. I think he ends up in the 30s with ease. So definitely like Alec Burks there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, guys. Listen, we got about 17 minutes left here. We just got some news. Cantor will be limited. I don't know how much that affects it, guys, but that might move some minutes around on the projection. So check that out. Guys, we're going to do FanDuel. We'll do a FanDuel breakdown now. I want to do a FanDuel lineup with Will because me and him are both big FanDuel guys. We'll do a quick FanDuel lineup, and then we'll spend about the last 10 minutes answering your guys' questions. I love answering questions for you guys, so save them for, the next 5 minutes or so. Save those questions, and we'll just jump into a ton of them and kind of talk strategy along the way. But let's build a FanDuel lineup out, Will. Where do you want to start here? Because I think there's a lot of different ways you can go. I think going Dinwiddie is a really good route, right? I think those cheap guards we talked about, Bruce Brown, he's shooting guard eligible. Is he a guy you want to lock in?
No, I do not want to lock in Bruce Brown.
All right, so we won't do that then. I think it's more of a cash game play, but I think he's a strong
right.
One. And things have moved around, right? It seems like Damian Lee's your guy, right? You want to put Damian Lee in?
Yes, it's leverage. If we're talking about tournaments, so and here's kind of how I rank it for myself in tournaments. How often is a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie going to let me down in a tournament, right? With no Kyrie going against Phoenix. In my opinion, he has a higher likelihood of a successful outing. In my opinion, I think he has a higher so I'm likely more so to eat that chalk. A guy like Bruce Brown, who, by the way, I've played tons of Bruce Brown this year, but if he's going to hit that 40% area, I'm not going to play him because he has a higher likelihood to let me down. So I'm going to side with the Damian Lee. I'm going to side with the Karis LeVert. I'm going to side with a guy like Garrett Temple, who guys who have, in my opinion, similar range of outcomes. I will fade him because you got to think most lineups tonight, they're going to have Brown and they're going to have Reggie Jackson if Reggie Jackson plays, right? So if I'm going to side with Reggie as the best chalk off that team, and I'm going to fade the guy that I think has a similar range of outcomes of guys that I already like. So I'm going to side with Damian Lee in tournaments, 100% out of 100.
Well, I will say on FanDuel, he's got a higher ownership. We got him updated for 30% right now, Will. So and Brown is 22, so it looks like he's going to be higher owned.
Well, yeah. So see, now it's flipped on us. Brown was in the 30, so now I side with Brown. And I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but listen, with two guys with similar range of outcomes, I'm taking a lower owned guy. They could both end up at 25. One can end up at 35, one can end up at 30. It's just too close. I'm siding with the lower owned guy to get more differentiation in my lineups.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention was we got some weird news, and again, I don't like to overthink it too much, but the Pistons two-way players Jordan Bone and Luis King, they're in Memphis, so I don't think that bodes well for Reggie Jackson. How about you? What do you think of that? Is that just something that's too much digging, or what?
No. I don't think it's too much. And let me clear something up too. I've got a guy in chat here, Robert. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. It could be Depp. I'm going to go with Depp. Robert, if I botched your last name, please forgive me, okay? But we'll just go with Robert. So Robert said this is hard. He is going very, very against the tool that RotoGrinders supplies for us. And that's not true, Robert. So what I'm doing is I'm just leveraging ownership, right? That's the key to taking down tournaments. So if Damian Lee was going to be 10% tonight when, earlier in the day we had Damian Lee projected at 7%. We had Bruce Brown at about 32, 34%. They have a similar range of outcomes. I'm going to side with Damian Lee. At this point, now Damian Lee is projected around 30. We've got Bruce around 20. I'm going to side with Bruce. It's purely an ownership play. I love both guys, but I'm always going to take the lower owned guy when two guys have a similar range of outcomes. And so that's my reason there. So I'm not going against the tool, but it's purely an ownership leverage play where I'm always going to side with the lower owned guy when two guys could end up both with 25 fantasy points.
Yeah, and Robert, he says he's new and he's learning. Robert, if you want to learn more, man, the Discord chat's awesome. They're talking all day NBA and strategy, and there's a ton of good stuff going on. But listen, let's kind of dive in and keep making this build out for the people.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so let's put Brown in, right? He's a guy we'll
let's
put
roll
in
Brown.
We like Lee also. We could go him maybe. I like one of the spend up shooting guards. I like Booker or Beal. I'll let you pick which one. Both are awesome for me. I'm a big fan of either. Let's play one of them though in this tournament.
Well, look, I think you're probably going to want to put some Golden State guys in here. Let's go Beal. Because I think you're going to want some Golden State guys if I know you the way I think I do.
All right, so if we want a Golden State guy, we probably want an Alec Burks at the small forward. I'm guessing he's one of the guys we want.
Hey, yeah, let's go ahead and hit that lineup preview button so the people can see.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. So we got the preview. Actually, we don't have to do Burks for sure. Let's do Draymond because that's one of the guys I thought would be a fun tournament play. So
I like Dre.
Again, this is for not cash games. I'm a big cash game player, but this is tournaments that we're
tournaments.
So we're putting Draymond in, and we're
let me make an executive decision here, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Please plug in Joel Embiid. Everybody's playing Ayton tonight because it's against Brooklyn. Joel Embiid, folks, I know he's had a rough stretch here. Joel Embiid at 8,800 could very well be on his way to 60 fantasy points, and I know for sure Ayton's getting more ownership tonight. I'm all over Embiid in this spot. All over Embiid.
All right, so I'm going to say this, right? This is the type of play that if this play goes well, Will, it's a collaboration play. We both were on it. It was a great play. If this play tanks, this was all you, Will.
Hey, it's all me. I own it. I own it. If this goes wrong, it's all me. I own it. No problem.
All right, but if it goes well, I want the credit. I'm a piggyback that.
Yes,
but,
yes.
Embiid, listen, it's a way to be different, right? It's a way to, leverage and just change different tournaments. Like, work on the ownership. I see 9%. I think it could be 5% on Embiid.
Exactly. Why play? And look, Ayton's a fantastic play. I play guys against Brooklyn all the time, but I'm leveraging the ownership here with Embiid, where he could just blow this slate up real quick, and we could be on the way to the bank tomorrow.
All right, so listen, give me the Celtic, right? You want Hayward, you want Brown, or Burks? We got to pick two of the three. We've gotten different enough with I think the way we're building.
Yeah.
So give me two of the three. Which one do you want? Do you want both Celtics or you want Burks in there?
Well, I think we definitely want Tatum. I think we want Tatum.
All right,
I'm going to.
I was saying, so you want Tatum, but what about the small forwards? I was trying to nail that down first. The three.
Yeah, I'm going to side with Hayward. I think Brown's going to have. I just feel like Hayward does more, right? So I feel like Hayward could get more rebounds, more assists. I know Brown seemingly gets steals and stuff like that. And look, I think Brown's a great play. If I had to side with one, I just feel like I'd take Hayward because I feel like Hayward's going to be more involved on the glass, more involved with assists, or more all-around game for this particular spot.
Yeah, by the way, the coach, Eric Spoelstra just said, Jimmy Butler's basically the point guard, and it's revenge for Jimmy Butler tonight. So don't forget that if you're building the lineups out. Another good spend-up guard, man. I'm telling you, the spend-up guards in tournaments, there's huge ceilings on those guys. So don't miss out on them. So, yeah, we're going to have to pay down a little bit at one of these positions. We got $6K left for 2 point guards, small forward, and power forward for the average. What are you thinking here on the other? Want to go Alec Burks or Jaylen Brown or tackling other positions?
Listen, for me, I'm going Brown, but I think you want to go Burks. Let's go with your play. We'll
go Burks first, and if we got the money, then we'll go to Brown. I'm cool with that. It gives us more money to mess with. Let's go to point guard now because I mean, obviously, I like Fox is a great play. We talked about his usage. Trae Young, Reggie Jackson as the cheap guy. It seems like they might want to go maybe Reggie Jackson as the cheap guy.
Yeah, for now, I'm siding with Reggie Jackson until they tell me he's out.
All right, can we play Brown and Reggie Jackson? Someone might ask that. Do they cut into each other's production? My answer is they could cut into each other's production, but they're both priced too cheap where there's a ton of value here still for them.
Right. Yep. Love Reggie Jackson. And they're playing the Memphis Grizzlies. They're not playing the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. One thing too, someone's talking in chat, Jimmy with Embiid. I'm just saying, like in this lineup, let's say you're playing Joel Embiid, like you could run it back with Jimmy. Make sure to make that one of your player groups.
I love Jimmy tonight. Go check out that first look chart. I'm telling you right now, go check it out. Jimmy looks real tasty today.
All right, and then we need one more point guard and one more power forward. We're at about 7,200. So I know you said you like Tatum. He's definitely a guy I like too. If we plug him in, then it gives us 6,500 for a point.
And we're going to go with your boy. We're going to go with your lock of the night.
Oh, man, he's in there? Oh, gosh.
We're going to go with your lock of the night.
It's not my lock. Well, it's my lock on SharpSide for assists. But, yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Now, watch this. If I wasn't going to play Tatum, we could go with my lock of the night, Porzingis. You see what I'm saying? My goodness.
Yeah, I'm with that too. So that's a good route, and we can go Porzingis too. We can go both of them. They both fit that bill there. So, yeah, man, I'm with you. That's a good build.
Oh, buddy.
I say we put Porzingis in instead, and that's what That's what we'll roll with right now here, guys. This is one of our tournament teams that we just built and was pretty good. Again, we got 7 minutes left, guys. If you could, we already hit the likes. We needed 250 for you guys to get crunch time for free, so make sure to stay around for that. But listen, if you like this, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're here every day talking NBA with you guys. But listen, now it's time for QQs. We can totally talk about that. We got one question here. It's Wanamaker or Jeff Teague. Who do you got here, Will?
Neither.
Neither?
Yeah. Well, if I had to decide between the two, I'd take Wanamaker. I think in this spot, playing against Phoenix, no Kemba, no Marcus Smart. I don't like them. I don't like either one of them, to be honest. But I would side with Wanamaker if I had to.
All righty. Someone's saying Drummond over Embiid. Listen, I'm a Drummond homer. I like playing him enough, but the range of outcomes can be frustrating with him. He does have a history with Jonas Valanciunas. I can't remember it. I don't know if it's good or bad. Do you know off the top of your head?
Say that one more time. I didn't hear the beginning.
Do you know Drummond and Jonas Valanciunas? Don't they have like a history against each other of like just going at it?
I don't know, man. I have no clue on that one. Sorry.
That's fine. If you could, someone look that up for the head-to-heads. Apparently, they're pretty good against each other, I think, overall. We got more QQs filing in. QQ, are you good with Burks, Draymond, and Lee in cash? So 3 Warriors in cash for DK. Can you do that, Will?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fine. If they were playing another team, I wouldn't think about it, but I think it's fine. They all have the upside. Playing Washington, I like it.
Chief, can you pair Randall or Mitchell Robinson with Alfred Payton? Do you think that's a good idea?
Not today.
Yeah, I agree.
Not today.
I don't think it's the right slate. If it was like a 5-gamer, I could see it. But I think if you just play Payton as a one-off here for a 2% play, I don't hate that. I think that's perfectly fine. Again, it's Cleveland, right? Anyone can crush Cleveland.
Right.
Let's see. Reggie Jackson and FanDuel cash, no late swap if he's safe. Listen, if I don't have Reggie Jackson news, I'm not playing him in FanDuel cash. That you need the news, right, Will?
Right. Yeah, yes. In cash games, if you don't get the news, you can build a quality lineup in cash easily without Jackson. In tournaments, I think I still roll the dice with it, even if I don't get the news.
Okay, DK GVP, Kawhi and Mo Bamba or Embiid and Pascal?
If I had to choose, I'd take Embiid and Pascal, but I don't really like that.
All right, Payton or Brunson? I would go with Payton. How about you?
Yeah, I definitely take Payton.
Fox for cash games? I think he's a really strong cash play. How about you?
Yes.
Rank for FanDuel cash, we got Tatum, Porzingis, and Sabonis. Man, like Will Fritz with like probably the toughest question so far.
Woo! If I had to side right now, I think I'd take Porzingis. No, Tatum and Porzingis would be the 2 in, and then Sabonis would be the guy out. So both of those guys are equal in my book. Tatum, Porzingis.
Yeah, for me, it's Tatum and Porzingis are like 1A, 1B, and then Sabonis on the outs. But that's tough. I can go back and forth on that one. Tatum's going to project better in projections. Porzingis could be the better play, though, based on the usage and everything, and the projections might be too low. And if he gets 36 minutes again, then, yeah, you want Porzingis, but that's not what he's projected for. So that's a really tough call. Both are really good plays. Let's see. DK, pay up for center. What's your thoughts on that, Will?
I love it. DK tonight, as of right now, I like getting, Drummond and Embiid. I like that combo. I like Embiid and Vooch. there's a theme here, as you can see. I love double pay up at center tonight because, especially when you can get Porzingis at a forward spot.
Well, we just got news. Tristan Thompson ruled out, so that's against the Knicks. And man, so you can do a little Alfred Payton ran back with some Kevin Love, man. Kevin Love is a real. I mean, FanDuel, he's 7-2. Will I mean?
Okay, wait. So look, Larry, and look, I already had Larry Nance projected for a little bit more than what we had him for, and Ante Zizic is not playing. You got to think Larry Nance here. I mean, my goodness. It's so much value. You just kind of have to pick your value. I think Larry Nance could be a crazy good play today on both sides, man. I like a little Larry Nance now. And I like him anyway, but now, I really like some Larry Nance here.
Yeah, man. Nance going to make me want to dance, I think, man. Nance is a strong play now. But yeah, I typed in the chat Kevin Love out by accident. That's not what I meant. I spreaded the fake news. It's Tristan Thompson. But, man, Love's a strong play now. I'm going to get the ban, it looks like, so I better watch myself. We'll keep hitting some QQs. I think Nance, though, and I think Kevin Love are the two biggest bumps you got to look at and consider. Draymond, Elf, or Brogdon for DK. Man, that was a tough one. I guess I mean Draymond. How about you?
Is it cash or tournaments?
No answer.
Didn't say?
No answer. Probably cash, it's Brogdon, and then probably tournaments, it's Draymond, right?
Yeah, I'm going tournaments for Draymond on this one. Cash, definitely Brogdon, I think.
What do you think about Kevin Huerter as a good value play for cash? I think he could be, but I think there's a lot of value. That's the problem today.
Yeah, if I'm stacking the Boston game, I'm playing Huerter. Period.
All right. How about Buddy Hield for DK tournaments?
I don't hate it. I like him a lot on FanDuel at 5,800. Like him on DK as well, but on FanDuel at 58, I think he's outstanding play.
All right, Vooch versus the Hornets. I think it's a pretty solid play. No one will
Absolutely.
All right, let's see. Dinwiddie or Tatum, who's more of a priority for your DK cash games? I would say Tatum on DK.
Yeah, absolutely. Tatum.
Is it negative correlation to play Rubio and Booker in the same lineup? I wouldn't do that today. I don't think it's the right day to. How about you?
Yeah, not today.
Sabonis for the raw points. I don't think Sabonis is the raw point guy. I think Porzingis and Tatum are better raw point guys, as we kind of discussed before.
Yeah, I mean on FanDuel, where the pricing that they're literally $200 between them. Tatum 79, Porzingis 800, Sabonis 81. Maybe it's more of a discussion on DK, where Sabonis is 96, Tatum is 75, Porzingis is 7K. I side with Porzingis, then I side with Tatum. And I think I'd almost X Sabonis out of my player pool at 9,600 on DK today. I don't think it's worth it.
All right, well, listen, we got one last question. That's all we're taking. Wish we could stay here all day and take them, but we got this last one. Who is your best FanDuel GPP play? Go, Will.
Joel Embiid, 8,800. No ownership.
All right, man. I'm going to give you two. I can't decide which one. I like them both. Devin Booker is one of them. Again, I like the paying up shooting guard route. Same with Bradley Beal, and I'll give you three. Draymond Green, right? I think those three are just awesome tournament plays that I'm a huge fan of. I love the paying up at guard spot. But listen, guys, we got to get on out of here, but stick around. Don't go anywhere. We hit 250 likes, currently at 295. If you want, though, hit that like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it if you want to jump on and give us some more. But stick around for Andy Means. Stick around for JSU. And stick around for Kevin Roth. They will take you up to Lineup Lock and give you all of the latest info that you need. But listen, we got to get on out of here. For me, Travis Mangone, and Chief Justice Will Priester, we're out of here.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Crunch Time. We've got a Monday show, and it's right on the heels of the Super Bowl and the RotoGrinders party. So if you think I look or sound hungover, you are correct. And we've got a couple guys who I was hanging out with all weekend. We got JSU. What up, JSU?
Not much. I am sore. I was telling you guys just before we got on, I hurt everywhere. My neck, my back. I feel like I'm 45, and it was a great weekend.
Yeah, it was. And you, well, we'll get into it, but you are pretty intense on the court, so I'm not surprised. Intense is the nice way to put it. We got Means as well. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was thinking, I came to the conclusion earlier today that my fourth, fifth, and sixth glass of wine last night at the party was a bad choice.
Yeah.
Feeling that. I got up early. My knee hurts. My back hurts. My hamstrings hurt. Yeah, I'm in rough shape.
Yeah. Yeah, we all are. As for the basketball game, JSU, congratulations. JSU's team actually did win. Note that I was not able to play because of an injury. Otherwise, my team would have won for sure. But JSU, I'm kind of scared of you, honestly. Like, that was pretty intense, man.
That was actually my goal, was to just terrify you so we don't actually have to play. But no, it's just on the court. I'm a competitor. Like, we play DFS, and like, you don't get to see me like sweat or anything like that, like my lineups or anything, or make my lineups. But I'm competitive when I do DFS, and like, I want to be the best, and I, all that stuff. And that's the same way with, the sports I was competitive with as a kid. Like, I was a kid. I played basketball throughout my whole life. That was the main sport. And yeah, I was the worst person ever on the court.
Yeah.
You two are 100% fighting if you ever play one-on-one.
Yeah, because I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't back down. If we play one-on-one, it will come to blows. So I'm a little terrified about that. But at one point, JSU...
It won't, because me and Big T, it would never have came to blows. And me and Big T were talking the entire game, that first game.
Yes. And then you hit the game-winning three and yelled, "Get the off my court!" Like, so
at
intense.
4'8".
Big T swatted him, called him 4'8" right in his face. It was it was a good time. But no punches thrown. So all in all, a successful weekend. And now we've got a good slate. We've got some breaking news. We've got, Nance now is starting for Tristan Thompson. So that is the latest. Mains, you got anything to add, or you think we get right into it here?
Let's get into it because there's a ton of stuff.
Wait, I should add something. Shout out to RotoGrinders. Thanks for having us all up there.
True. I
should have given a thank you. It's so good to see all these people that we work with every day, but you see once a year. So it was awesome. It was good to see D-Train. He's always behind the scenes, and then get to see it, hang out with him. And also one more thing before we get going. The spot to be here is in the Crunch Time Slack, the Crunch Time Discord, not the Crunch Time Slack. So get on the Discord, join the Crunch Time. This is also free on YouTube. So for those of you watching on YouTube, hey, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, say what's up. It's a pleasure seeing you guys, and subscribe. That way, you get to see all these shows. With that said, Meansy, let's start getting into the good stuff.
Yeah, well, you know what I like when you're coming off like 5 hours of drunk sleep is a 10-game slate with all sorts of moving parts and news. That's really exciting to come back to. Yeah, so we're still waiting on like the Reggie Jackson news. Like, he's going to be one of the best plays on the slate from a cash game perspective if he's playing. We don't know that yet. They put him as questionable on the injury report today since it's this back-to-back. And I know everyone's like, well, he hasn't played a back-to-back yet since he returned from injury. They've only had one since he's been back from injury, and he did sit that one out. But they're really short on bodies. That Speed Mikhailuk he's questionable now too. So yeah, that we're gonna hopefully get that here any minute now because that game starts in 90 minutes. So we'll see there. Smart got ruled out. Kimbo was already ruled out. D'Angelo Russell got ruled out. Tristan Thompson got ruled out, just like you said, Roth, and Nance is starting. So plenty of options here. Let me just update here we go. All right, so FanDuel point guard, you just can't play Reggie Jackson unless we know he's playing. So as of now, you got to take him out. There's no late swap. I untagged him on non-late swap sites, kept him tagged on late swap sites. So I think this is one of those things where you got to be ready with two separate lineups on FanDuel, and if you're playing on fantasy draft, because you got to be ready to put him in if he's playing, because he's going to be a good play. Yeah.
And I'm assuming there's no direct swap, like 1v1 if he is out. Like, let's say he's in for Draftkings and he gets ruled out. Is there like an easy swap? And now I'm kind of jumping ahead.
No, nothing off the top of my head. I mean, I might get to that point, but I like Bruce Brown anyways. He's just going to be an even better play. I already have him tagged on both sides too. So it'd be mainly him. We'll see what they do with Frazier. We'll see who they start, but it's mainly Bruce Brown here. So, so point guard, if we just scratch him out from FanDuel, then you're looking at my favorite high-end guy is going to be De'Aaron Fox, who's 8'3". I like him for the dollar over Trae Young. And then, man, I really hope we get Reggie Jackson in because I do not want to play like a Ricky Rubio, but we might have to. He's 5'5", just been really bad. He said, I think it was their last game. I think it was yesterday. So I really don't want to play him, but we might have to. Other cheap guys, you can look like Dragic at 5K, Brogdon's at 6'5". Those are some mid-tier guys. Trae Young up at 9'6" is fine. I would prefer to save the 1,300 down to Fox. So that's mainly what I'm looking at. I don't like point guard 2 now, but I'm basically like locking in Fox, I think. And I don't like it without this Jackson news. So I really hope we get that news that he's in. Shooting guard. I untagged. I'm so hoarse. This is ridiculous. I untagged Dinwiddie on FanDuel just because this position got even deeper with the D'Angelo Russell news because now Damian Lee's 4-5. Like it was mainly Dinwiddie and Brown for me for sure. And now you might not need it. I'm still trying Dinwiddie where I can or trying to get him where I can. Another cheap guy here is Kevin Huerter at 5K. And I know a bunch of people like LeVert tonight. I think JSU had him tagged last I looked. And like he's fine, but it's like there's so many good plays that like he kind of falls down the priority list a little on FanDuel. So and Markieff Morris just got rolled out. This will be a very fun next 25 minutes, boys.
Apparently, in chat, I'm seeing Jackson as a game time decision. I haven't seen it officially, but that's great in chat.
Yep, game time decision. I'm just catching up on the Twitter here. I'll go through them. I just want to get through this. So I'll go through the Pistons stuff while JSU's talking. So those basically 4 like. Brown's going to get an even bigger bump now too. So he's definitely the one I want to lock in. And now you also have like hidden upside with Brown on the non-late swap sites. So like if Reggie Jackson is rolled out, he's like the best play on the slate. So you definitely want to lock in Brown on both sites, but it makes it even better of a play on the non-late swap sites. So yeah, it's mainly Brown and Dinwiddie for me to sum this up a little bit. And then your cheap ones are going to be Huerter and Damian Lee, maybe LeVert. And then small forward is kind of a similar problem where we have an abundance of plays. I'm trying to just get these 2 Celtics. That's a big deal. Kemba's out, Smart's out, Kanter's on a minutes limit. These are my priorities here. You could make the case that the next guy you would consider here is Alec Burks. If he was starting, then we'd have a real problem. But since he's coming off the bench, I just can't really trust where the minutes are going to be. And so he would be the next guy at small forward, but I really want to get Brown and Hayward. Power forward, not as clear for me at this position. The spin-ups I like are Tatum at 7'9" and John Collins at 8'1". The cheap ones I like are going to be the 2 Cavs guys, like Nance is 4'9" and Henson is 3'6". Those guys are going to be a very good place here. I might actually tag one of them when JSU's talking. And then, like, the mid-tier options are going to be, like, Bielitsa at 5'6", Daniel Tice at 5K. That's pretty much it. And Kevin Love, I'll throw Kevin Love into that spend-up category with that I mentioned with Tatum and Collins. He's fine, too, at 7'2". That I don't know, $700 or whatever might come in handy on FanDuel. And then center, I'm going to be looking at this is definitely a spend up spot for me. Like we have plenty of other value at other spots. Like, yeah, sure. You can I rank Dedmon high because he is a good point per dollar play, but he's not as good of a point per dollar play as like guys at other positions that are in his price range. So this is definitely a spend up spot. There's not anyone I'm really trying to go out of my way to get, but there's a select crop of guys that I want to land on. So like way up top, it's going to be Drummond at 9.7, Embiid at 8.8. Vooch at 8.6 and Ayton at 8.3. Like those guys, I'm completely fine with playing any of them. I would prefer to get like Ayton or Drummond, I guess. That's the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum there, but it's mainly those 4 that I'm looking at for cash games.
Okay, excellent stuff. That was well done for a hungover Meansy. Let's talk some tournament takes, JSU.
All right. So at point guard, Trae Young, obviously on FanDuel, De'Aaron Fox are two of the more highly projected guys. I kind of like going down to like this mid-tier where we got like Alfred Payton, who has a great match against Cavs. Cavs struggle against guards. Malcolm Brogdon at 6,500, and then Colin Sexton. Like those three guys, I think, you could take two of those three guys or at least one just to kind of differentiate a little bit, because I think a lot of people are going to want to, spend up, especially if Reggie Jackson is out and we get that news before lock. If he's not out, then that's one spot where a lot of people are going to have Jackson. They'll probably be able to just spend up for Fox and Trae. So you being in that mid-tier will really differentiate you in tournaments. Shooting guard, if you just look at shooting guard on FanDuel specifically, there are three guys. There's Bruce Brown, there's Karis LeVert, who I have tagged, who I do really like today, and I'll talk about that in a second, and Damian Lee. And if you just look at it, you're going to want at least one of those three guys in your lineup, probably two. A lot of people are going to play two, but at least one for sure. I think what you do is you play one of your favorite three, and then you spend up for a guy like Bradley Beal for tournaments at 10-5. I think it's a really high price to pay, but the way he's been playing and just the fact that I think he comes in a little under-owned because of the price, it's just a great matchup against Golden State. Devin Booker's also a good option. Jimmy Butler will come in lower owned, but I do like spending all the way up for one of those three guys, specifically Beal, if you have the money. Small forward, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Alec Burks will be the chalk guys, those three guys. I think Kelly Oubre right in the middle of Hayward and Brown is interesting for tournaments. Miles Bridges with no PJ Washington out, it's good for tournaments. And then if go down a little bit, Glenn Robinson. Everyone's going to play Burke at small forward. Robinson might get a little forgotten about. So I do think Glenn Robinson for tournaments is an interesting pivot. Power forward, Porzingis, I know has gotten some love. Tatum will be very popular. I kind of like going to Kevin Love now with this news. I don't know if with this news of Tristan Thompson being out, people pivot off of Tatum. I don't think they will, because I think Tatum is just by far the favorite play no matter what. And I do think Love, I really like him without Thompson today. I think he, can obviously rebound the ball well, and they're going to need him to score. And then other guys, Draymond Green, I have tagged. Really love this matchup. This is exactly the type of matchup you want Green for. Yes, the minutes are up and down, but that's why he's such a great tournament play, because people are going to be afraid to play him because they'll see 25 minutes one game, 35 minutes another game, 33 minutes, 25. So it's like up and down. That's what scares people. But look at this guy. Like, look what he did last game. He had 25 minutes. He had 16 assists. He scored 50 FanDuel points, and he only had 8 real points. I mean, this guy can do it in bunches and steals, blocks, everything. And the Wizards are the perfect matchup. They're going to push the ball. The pace is going to be up and down. That's how Draymond likes to play. And if his guys are making shots, he's going to be racking up assists and rebounds off the pace. So I do like Draymond a lot. Nima Bjelica at 5,600, I think, is also a pretty good tournament play. And then at center, I love Ayton. I think it's one of the best matchups on the board against Brooklyn. I get that he'll be very popular for tournaments. So if you need to pivot, I think guys like Vooch, Embiid are my two favorite. I'd probably go Embiid, Vooch if I had to rank them. But for tournaments, I do like them.
Okay. Excellent stuff. Means, did you update some tags here while JSU was going?
I did not. I mean, the Markieff news makes me like Drummond a little more. There's just like FanDuel has so many good plays at each position. Like we've talked about it before, that it's hard to differentiate some of them. Mm-hmm. But for a 10-game slate, like it is pretty condensed group. So yeah, to answer your question, no, I did not update anybody. Like I like if to compare of like two guys I talked about, like I like Nance more than Bjelica in the mid-tier for like a power forward too. But if I have the money, I'm just going to play Bjelica. So like stuff like that. Yeah, no updates for me on FanDuel or DK actually.
Okay, well, let's get into DK.
Yeah. So let me get this updated here. So yeah, I have Porzingis, and I didn't even mention Porzingis on FanDuel just because he's more expensive, but the price tag on DK makes him a really, really good play at 7K. so I have, like I said earlier, I have Reggie Jackson tagged here because you have late swap. So if he does get ruled out, which now I think he might, but I'm not really sure. Once he gets ruled out, he'll just get removed from the player pool, so you won't have to worry about it anyways. So all right, cheap guys here on DK for point guard. Obviously, you can put Brown here at the point guard if you want, and boo Reggie. You have Alec Burks at 5'3". You have Ricky Rubio at 5'5". I definitely prefer Burks. Spend ups, similar guys that I talked about over on FanDuel. De'Aaron Fox at 8'2", Trae Young at 10K. Dinwiddie less so on DK because he's 8K. The price tag just makes way more sense over on FanDuel. Brogdon in the mid tier at 6'3". I get some Wanamaker, like Jeff Teague questions. I would prefer Teague. Still not thrilled with that. But yeah, he's starting, so they're thin. So I have no problem with Teague. I would prefer him over Wanamaker if you have the money for sure. And then the cheap Nets. Karis LeVert is 4.7 and Temple's 4K. Those guys are good last pieces for cash games. That's about it. I do like Booker tonight, but I like the ceiling more for tournaments. Let's go shooting guard here. I like using the shooting guard spot on Burks. You can just start it out with that with Jackson, Burks, and Brown. I like that route because shooting guard isn't that great of a position here. You have the two Nets guys that I mentioned. You have Hoyter. He's a good option too, 5'4". We might get some who do you prefer between these two guys. I kind of prefer Burks. I think the matchup just kind of sends it over the top for Burks over Hoyter just a little bit, but those guys are both good options. You can certainly play both too. Jaylen Brown on DK. I like him as kind of part of a balanced build here. He's 7'6". And that is mainly who I'm looking at shooting guard. That's about it. Beal's too expensive for me for cash games, I think. Maybe Damian Lee, but yeah, that's about it. All right, so small forward. You can definitely use this on Brown. You can play Siku here. he's min price. I think he's very much in play for cash games. And you have the Jacob Evans also. I'm not certain what they're going to do with Jacob Evans' minutes. I'll take the question now. I would rather play Siku over Jacob Evans because I trust his minutes more. I know Evans is starting, but I'm just not certain how high they're going to go on him. I'm pretty sure we had him at like 20. So those guys, they're that route, I guess. If you're going more stars and scrubsy, you can put Siku in there. Because if you're not using Brown in your small forward, you're probably using one of the Celtics guys. And I mentioned Brown already. And then Jason Tatum's also right there. He's 7'5". I would prefer Tatum for if you have the money, he's cheaper than Brown. So if you are playing one of those guys, I would put in Tatum before Brown. And that's about it for me on at small forward. Power forward, you can use the zinger here. And then you have Tatum with power forward eligibility. Siku, who I already mentioned, and then you have Kevin Love. He's 7'1". He's very much in play. You can use it. You can use Kevin Love at power forward, put Zinger at center. Larry Nance, not as good of a play on DK just because he's 5'4", but definitely in play. And then that's mainly the group of guys I'm looking at. Then center. Two guys really stand out here for me that are just center eligible, and that's Ayton at 7'7", who I love. Probably if we're talking about guys in the 7K range, not named Porzingis, I think Ayton might be my favorite. And then Drummond, he's been frustrating like the last month or so. The fantasy production's been volatile, the minutes have been volatile, but he's 9'4". They're thin. Memphis is a pace-up matchup, so I do like him as he's probably one of my favorite spend-ups now on DK at 9'4". So those two guys I like as just like the center-only guys for cash games.
Okay. Excellent stuff. JSU, let's talk some GPP pivots. And if there's anything, weirdly different from DK to FanDuel.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of in a way similar. Like we have all these cheap guards, really, just tons of cheap guard play. And I think that leads to guys in the higher range for guards specifically that come in a little lower because of it. Because, on DK, there's so many spots where you can have a guard in, but there's just so many good guards to play. And I mean, like Jeff Teague is 3,900 on DraftKings. He'll get more ownership than on FanDuel. Like just because of the price difference. Bruce Brown, Alec Burks. So there's just so many guys you want to fit in. But I'm just going to talk Bradley Beal, just one of my favorite plays. I like spending up for him. For tournaments, Jimmy Butler at 8,100. Buddy Hield, specifically on DraftKings, but just because of 3-point bonus, I like him a little bit. 6,200. He's one of those tournament guys that has that just like ceiling upside where he has that 50-point upside. I know his minutes have fluctuated, but they've also been getting beaten by like 20 or more points in the last 3 games. So I think that kind of hurts his upside if he's not getting that 33-ish minutes, which he might see if the games are a little closer. So I do like Buddy. Let's see, Kevin Huerter. I think many people are going to play Trae Young. They'll play Jeff Teague as like a run back with their Boston guys like Tatum and Brown and Hayward. I kind of like Huerter as a run back just to be a little different for tournaments. At forward, I do like Gordon Hayward. We're projecting right now, I think 5% ownership off of Tatum's like 25%. I think Brown's a little higher than Hayward as well. So Hayward seems to be coming in as the 3rd favorite Celtic. And I think, honestly, he for me is 1. I know he's a little bit more expensive, but I think he does a lot of the ball handling, setting up all the plays and running the offense more than the other guys. So I just prefer the guy with the ball in his hands more. And I think that's going to be Hayward. So I like him the most today out of those 3 guys. And then, power forward. I talked about Love. Nima Bjelica at $6K. I still like that price. LaMarcus Aldridge at $6,900. I know he's had a rough stretch, but it's still too cheap for the type of player. And in tournaments, I do like it. I think he gets forgotten about. Joel Embiid and Vooch are good center plays if you want to pay up. Daniel Tice at $5,600. Now with Larry Nance as a center option, power forward center. It might lower a guy like Tice's ownership a little bit because they're right around the same price. And then Christian Wood at 4,400. The Drummond minutes have been all over the place. We got Morris out, Sekou. They haven't been giving him huge minutes. This could be a Christian Wood spot, where he gets 22 minutes. If he gets 22 minutes, he could smash.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent stuff. We've got 9 minutes for questions. Means, is there anything else you want to add here, or are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay, I kind of want to start with the cheapies. Anirudh had a question in the Discord chat, which is, by the way, where everybody should be. He said, let's add in Henson on DK Cash. Now we've got Henson, Sekou, Evans. Those are all 3K, I believe. So can both of you give me
he wants me to – yeah, I got you. Like to pick? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I would pick Sekou. I would go Sekou, Henson, Evans.
Okay, JSU, do you have any thoughts on those mega cheapies there?
I would rank them. He said Sekou, Henson, Evans. Yeah, I would rank them exactly that way.
Okay, excellent. Good work.
And remember, we have – and like what you're seeing in our projections now has Reggie Jackson in, and it has Svi in. So, like, those are 2 extra guys that could give Sekou an even bigger bump. So be sure to monitor that stuff as the night progresses.
Okay. Let's go to Rogers. He says, any Damian Jones in a FanDuel single entry?
I don't have any. I don't really like it. I think there's so much value on this slate. That just like better guys, more consistent guys. So I don't like it very much.
Okay. Let's go to winner. This is a FanDuel cash question for Means. You want Trae and Nance or Brogdon and Tatum?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would probably lean the Brogdon Tatum one.
Okay. It's Tyler Jackson, DK Cash, John Collins or Fox?
I kind of slightly lean Fox, but those are both good.
Okay. Let's see here. I, too, am falling on Fox in GPPs. JSU, are you okay with that?
I mean, I really like the matchup for Fox. The ownership kind of has me scared to play him because I just feel like he's going to be really popular today. I thought with Dinwiddie around his price that it might lower his ownership, but again, on DK where you can have so many guards in your lineup just because of the multi-eligibility, Dinwiddie is point guard and shooting guard eligible. You could play them both.
Right.
I don't have any because of the ownership personally, but it's
we have them at 18% for the record. The last I refreshed.
FanDuel, I think, is higher though. It's like 30.
Way higher over on FanDuel for sure.
Yeah. And I honestly, I think personally that people who are not playing Dinwiddie in that exact spot is just going to pivot right to Fox. Like that's the pivot that a lot of people are thinking.
Okay. Let's keep going here. Poto DFS says DK Cash, Tatum and Draymond, or Dinwiddie and Brogdon.
I would do the Tatum Draymond one.
Mm-hmm. We'll go to Jeps. This is FanDuel GPP, Lee and Love, or Brown and Zinger.
Lee and Love.
Okay. Achilles with the DK Cash question. Booker and Love, or Jaylen Brown and Dinwiddie.
Slightly second one.
All right. DK GPP question. Looks like Isaiah Thomas, Garrett Temple, Jeff Teague, or Bruce Brown, last spot.
I would go with, it'd be either Teague or Brown for me. I think that if all these guys, if like Reggie Jackson and Svi are out, I think Bruce Brown, it becomes the obvious better play. But Jeff Teague is probably going to be lower than Bruce Brown in ownership.
Okay. Joe Cole says, FanDuel GPP question for you. Towns and Robertson at small forward, or Embiid and Burks? And then have a few extra bucks.
Embiid and Burks, because you're already different with Embiid.
Okay.
And
great.
Burks is better than Robinson.
Okay. FanDuel single entry. Fox and Ja, or Trey and Rubio?
Fox and Ja.
Was that an answer, or are you just repeating?
Yeah, Fox and Ja. Yeah. That was a combo, right? Yeah.
Yes, it was. Okay. Joe Trapp says DK GPP, Reggie Jackson and Draymond, or Burks and Triple J?
Reggie Jackson and Draymond.
We'll go to Will 24. DK Cash, Ja Morant and Burks, or Fox and Teague?
Fox and Teague.
Kimbro says DK Cash, is Ja viable as a last piece? In fact, a lot of people are asking about Ja Morant. Like a lot.
Really? Okay. Let me look at his price. I'm guessing, he's 6'8". Yeah, I forgot he's that cheap. I overlooked him slightly when I went over point guard. I forgot he would dip below 7K after that last game. I think it was Friday. Yeah, he's fine as the last piece, sure.
Okay. Roto Flamingo, DK GPP, Dame Lee or Buddy?
Buddy.
Okay. We'll go to Lester, FanDuel Cash. Miles Turner seems very attractive at 5K. Am I missing something?
Yeah, there's too much opportunity cost at center. There's just much better plays, and there's better. Like I said about Dedmon, how there's like guys that are at other positions that are similar price. There's just better cheap stuff at other spots that you should take the cheap stuff at those spots and then pay up at center, is my opinion.
Okay, so it is a good play, but there are better plays at other spots.
Yeah, you can make the case that he's underpriced, sure, but there's like a lot of guys underpriced on FanDuel. So like being a good value on FanDuel hasn't meant a lot lately because there's a ton of value every night. So you just have to kind of like, parse through it and prioritize it. So I think you pay up at center.
Okay. We'll go to Terrence, FanDuel Cash. Is it okay to play only one Celtic? If so, who is it?
I mean, it's definitely one of the small forwards. So I think it's okay to play one, yes, because small forward has 3 good plays and 2 of them happen to be Celtics. But you could go Brown and Burks and not play Tatum at power forward because power forward's loaded. So you could definitely – you're fine with one. I like all 3 of them, though, still.
Okay, great. We'll go to B Daily. Is Damian Lee viable in DK Cash?
Yeah, he's like in the high 5s, I believe. He's fine as kind of a last piece type of play.
Okay. Android says Sexton or Brogdon on FanDuel.
If that's me, it's Brogdon.
Okay. Elk Hunter with the DK Cash means I don't think you were getting up to these guys, but Trey versus Beal, who do you prefer?
Yeah. That's a good question. I would I don't know, probably Beal. I think I could see myself getting Beal more because his eligibility at shooting guard small forward probably helps a little more. Point guard has more options. So I guess slightly Beal, but I don't feel strongly about it. if you can tell.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go to M Jazz, DK Cash, Teague and Graham, or Jackson and Ja.
2 minutes.
Can you ask that again? Sorry.
Yep, it was DK Cash. By the way, we got about 2 minutes here. DK Cash, Teague and Graham, or Jackson and Ja Morant.
Definitely the second one if Jackson plays.
Okay, we'll go to Decay, FanDuel single entry GPP, Hayward or Oubre.
In FanDuel, Oubre.
Okay, Pick Me Kevin says DK Cash, Embiid, Nance, and Morant, or Drummond, Dinwiddie, Pascal.
Slightly the first one.
Big Brexy says the best 4-4 or under play in a DK GPP not named Brown. You got someone, JSU?
Christian Wood is 4-4 exactly.
Excellent. Okay. Crossover King, JSU, do you see 4 Warriors in a Golden Stack Washington game as viable?
I think it's viable, but I would prefer 3.
Okay, great. Derek, any Joe Val and GPPs?
You could play Joe Val and GPPs. The minutes is a little bit of a worry. They give him around 26, 27, but I think you could do it in this matchup. Maybe they give him 30 against Drummond.
Okay. I don't understand this next question. I'm sorry, Hags. I'm going to move on. Generic says, any Deadman and DK Cash util?
Didn't pop up at all in mine, no.
Okay. Nape says, better DK GPP play, Lee or Burks? Both Golden State guys? Question mark.
Yeah, both. I think they're both good.
Okay. MLAP, DK GPP single entry, Gary Payton as a point guard pivot. Any interest?
Gary Payton, no.
Okay. John Tom, DK Cash, Reggie Jackson and Love, or Draymond and Burks?
For sure, the Jackson one. You got to play him if he's playing. His minutes should be fine. So I'd definitely do the Jackson one.
And that should be lock.
Okay, that is the lock here.
For whoever asked that Deadman question on DK, like just play Karis LeVert instead of Deadman. I think they're the same price.
Yeah.
You guys did really well today. I don't know how. That was excellently done.
Flu game.
Is the all right, we're going to take a few more questions here. We'll hang out for like 5 more minutes. This is the question that I messed up earlier. I still don't understand. I'm just going to read it. DK Cash, 3-way, Teague, Drummond, Nance, Reggie Jackson / Love Morant. Does that mean anything to you?
I guess he's asking just a straight 3v3.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's just, yeah. Okay. It's just space.
Like,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So Teague, Drummond, Nance versus Reggie Jackson, Love, and Morant.
I would do the second one. If Reggie Jackson, if they announce that he's playing and they announce he's starting and they don't say they're only going to let him play 24 minutes or something, as long as nothing like that comes out, if it's just business as usual, he's playing, he's starting, you absolutely have to play him in cash games.
Okay. So I'm making a note of that. Okay. Is LeVert as a pivot to Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see when they're.
So yeah, that's the question.
Start.
So if Jackson is out,
7:30 and 8.
Yeah, there you go.
So if Jackson is out, sure, you pivot to LeVert.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any thoughts on Kawhi and a DK GPP? I hate to call this, but it's a revenge narrative, I think is what he said. Yeah, revenge.
How about you? Why don't you go look how that went last time against the Spurs?
Oh, right.
That was my answer. That was my answer, Meansy. Come on.
Yeah.
We hung out all weekend. We're on the same wavelength.
I know.
Terrence says, Love is 20% owned in FanDuel Cash. Thoughts?
That sounds about right to me. There's so many good plays at power forward on FanDuel.
Hey, to everybody hanging out in the YouTube, if you like the show, like it, subscribe, and then become a premium member. That way you can do this every day. That's really the answer. So go do that. Let's see. Not starting Wanamaker, Achilles says.
I don't know if that's maybe directed at me, like if I like him less. I would prefer not to play him on a slate like this, even with those guards out. You don't need it. So no effect on my end.
Okay. Or maybe he just isn't starting.
Yeah, he's not. They're starting Javonte Green.
Okay. Let's see. We'll take 5 more questions here. Time to win. DK Cash says you want Rubio, Love, Drummond, or Sexton, Tatum, Ayton.
Slight lean the second one. I don't love Sexton in cash games, but I would still go the second one probably.
Okay, Big Sack has a question. DKGPP, that's a great name. Paul George, he can get it done in less than 30 minutes. He's currently projected at 27. Any interest?
I don't really like it. I know he can do it in under 30 minutes, but it's still like a lot to ask. I get what you're saying, but I just prefer my guys playing, 30 plus minutes a night, or, it's 7,800. You want that guy playing 30 plus minutes. I don't care who it is. And I know Paul George is amazing, but I'm just not going to play him because of that.
Yeah. Okay. Porzingis or Tatum raw points on FanDuel means?
I'd probably still slightly go Porzingis there.
Okay. TM8 says, DK Cash, what are your thoughts on LeVert now that he's starting?
I'm still fine. I'm fine with him in cash regardless of his role.
Okay. Kaiser says, in a DK GPP, was Aaron Gordon okay as a last piece?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay. Clee Cavs, if Jackson is out, LeVert Morant or Fox Siku?
I would probably do the second one, the Siku one, if that's cash.
Okay, excellent. And with that, we have caught up on all the questions. So we are going to get on out of here. So for Meansy, for JSU, for Devin, working hard behind the scenes, everybody at home, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Monday. We will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.